Anybody that's good in sales knows that no problem means no sell, meaning if you cannot unearth a real problem, it's going to be very hard to close the deal. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to close the deal in most B2C and some B2B scenarios where there's no obvious problem from the prospect. I'm going to show you how to not only create urgency, but get the deal closed. Just a quick reminder, this video is just one video of an entire course that we're giving out for free. Literally the entire course that our clients used to pay us well over $10,000 to have access to, we're giving you for free. Scripts, templates, everything. And we use these processes to close over 40% month over month over month on 1 and 2 call closes from cold outreach traffic, meaning these people do not know, like, or trust us yet. And in 1 or 2 calls, we're converting at $10, $20, $50,000 type programs. Well, hello there. This is Tim again, and I want to walk you through the Where Now discovery script. I'm going to kind of give you a high-level overview super quick so you kind of understand how this flows. And then I'm going to, go through in more detail at each section, because on this, there's going to be, you can see if I ask, well, if, you've been in this job for the last 2 years and you've been stressed out, why are we talking about this now and not, 6 months ago or 6 months from now? Has something recently changed? There's going to be outcomes. They tell you why it's important now, or they just give you a generic answer. Oh, no, just wanted to see what you do, right? There's 2 ways, there's 2 outcomes from this question in most cases, and this is going to show you how to respond to those. So you can kind of see anywhere you see outcomes, it's kind of like a if this, then that. But it's so each section I'm going to walk you through the questions and I'm going to walk you through the outcomes. So it might take a little while to get through this, but I also want you to just see, I'm going to flow you through the whole call super quick, and then I'm going to show you the different outcomes. Well, basically, when you're on, what you want to be really familiar with how these outcomes are, and we'll go from there. So, okay. High level on this, this document is going to be something you're going to use on the call. Like, you're going to have the script pulled up. It's going to really help you, at least at first, until you've ran it enough where you can run it without the script. But this will really help you. Okay. The goal of the Where Now script, I'll just erase this. So the goal of Where Now script is to figure out where they want to go, where they are now, aka the problem, build a gap between those 2 places, and then this gap will be solved by your solution, right? If you're not aware of which one to use between the problem now and the Where Now script, should go back to the former training. There's a training that walks you through which one to use. So I'm not going to get too into detail on the differences between them at all. So just make sure to go back to that. But the Where Now is really like building the problem on where they're at now versus where they want to be. I'm going to dig into what they've tried to fix this Where Now problem, how long they've wanted to fix this Where Now problem, why they want to fix this Where Now problem now, what if they don't fix where they're at right now, and so on. At this point, your pitch can be positioned, this is the discovery script, but when you go to your pitch, can be positioned to solve their Where Now problem and can safely bring them to where they want to go. For instance, for our lead generation service, if I'm talking to a full-time employee that is sick of his or her career and boss and wants to go start their business and get enough clients so that they can do this full time and have travel freedom, money freedom, and not have that boss. Now it's less about me being the best lead generation service, and it's our service is the best solution to help you get clients so that you can do this full time and get out of that job you hate. Whereas, that's kind of where I'm going to build our solution and pitch on. So this Where Now allows you to kind of build that solution focus. Let me move over here. You'll notice the script focuses on questions that get your prospect to make statements about their situation, their desire to change, the implications if they don't change, and so on. So I'm just going to ask you a question. What do you think holds more weight? Number 1, statements you make to the prospects, the things you tell them about how life is, or the statements the prospects make to themselves, the way they tell you life is, the problem that it is, the implications if they don't fix the problem. What holds more weight? If you tell them the implications if they don't get this fixed. If you don't get this fixed, you're going to be stuck at your job. Or if they tell me, man, if I don't get this fixed, I'm going to be stuck at my job. Oh, what would that mean to you? Oh, gosh, dude, it would mean death to me. Death? It's pretty strong language. Yeah, dude, I freaking hate it. What's more powerful, to get them to tell you that or for you to make statements to them? Well, if you said statements the prospects make to themselves will hold more weight with the prospect, you are right. We definitely hold more weight to the things we say than to what other people say, especially somebody we just met or a salesperson. So that means if the prospect, here's why we have the prospect give us statements. If the prospect tells you, I have to get this fixed, otherwise I have to shut down my business. Then during the pitch, tells you, wow, this is your solution's exactly what I need to get this fixed. These two things congruent would mean that they're ready to sign up, because this tells me they have to get this fixed, urgency, otherwise they have to shut their business down. This tells me that my solution is exactly what they need to get fixed. So these two things tell one story. They're ready to sign up. So if when I go for the close, the person says, well, I need to think about this, I can simply remind them that, hey, earlier on the call, you told me if you don't get this fixed, you're going to have to shut your business down. This has been a problem for X amount of time, and it's been stressing you out. Now we have a solution on the table that you said is exactly what you need to get fixed. But it seems like, you're a little bit nervous right now, or you're a little bit afraid. Tell me what's going on. What's coming up for you? That's going to allow us to kind of call them out, but using their language in a very conversational manner. And this is going to, from that, not to get too into the objection training, but from that, we are going to essentially get an idea of what the real objection is, whether it's just fear or they've been burned before, whatever it is. It's going to allow us to have a very conversational approach to objection handling. Very powerful. So this whole call is about getting them to make statements to you, using questions to get them to make statements to you. All right. Okay. So let's keep going here. You'll want to add this to your script for your daily drill practice. But to be clear, the objection document should be 80% of your daily drills. For instance, if you're committing to, an hour a day of drilling, which I would highly, highly, highly suggest, you would do 15 minutes going through, practicing through this script, all the red letters, right? Practicing through the script, the different outcomes, all the different possible ways you can go. And then you're going to want to spend 45 minutes of that hour on your objection handling, getting them tied down, tying them down after you reveal price, running through the money objection, running through the mindset objections, running through the time objections, running through the partner objection, running through all that. This is where most of your money is going to be made, is understanding how to go through all these nuances. And it's going to be so cool when you get good at doing this, because it's going to make closing easy and fun. And when you put most of your practice on that, what ends up happening is you're going to close more deals a lot faster, but you're also, the better you get at handling objections, the better you're going to get at running a discovery. Because if I know how to run all of these objections clearly, and I hear a partner come up during the call, I already know how to handle that, so I can kind of pre-handle that in discovery, and it's easier to handle that in discovery. If I hear some time stuff come up, I can pre-handle time in discovery before I pitch, right? If I know how to handle these, and I've gotten really good at handling these, then just by nature, just by me getting good at that, I'm also getting it better at running my discovery and pre-handling objections. Now, that's why I suggest, 15 minutes of your hour spent here, 45 minutes of your hour spent here. Or, for instance, if you're doing 40 minutes a day, that would be 30 minutes on objections and 10 minutes going through your discovery. So cool. Let's dive into this. You want to practice the script enough to be familiar with the different outcomes for each section, because you want to be able to have the script pulled up during your calls and help you navigate situations with ease in a way that sounds natural. So if I kind of walk through here, you can see if I'm going, well, hey, how long has that been going on for? Oh, 3 years. Well, if you've kind of been stuck and burnt out and hating your job for the last 3 years, why are we talking now? Like, why not 6 months ago? Why not 6 months? No, has anything changed recently? I need to be able to, based off what they give me, if they're like, oh yeah, I just man, I lost this client and I just had this big thing happen and my boss gave me a pay decrease and I'm sick and tired of that stuff. Oh wow. I mean, can I ask you a personal question? Yeah, man. Well, I mean, what if you never get your business actually running and this next year looks just like this last year's look like at your job? You see? So, and then which is going to have a couple outcomes to it. So based off their outcomes, so you want to practice this enough to be able to like, yeah, you're going to have this pulled up. You don't have to have this stuff memorized. You'll eventually get it, but you have to have it up enough to know when I ask this question, you want to get familiar with what the outcomes are. So you're not reading what the freaking outcomes are on the call. So practice this enough to get really good at your outcomes. All right, cool. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go through each section. Let me do a high level overview so you can get an idea of like how the whole call works. And then I'm going to go through each piece one at a time. Okay, so frame and leadership, great. Nice to meet you. Where you're calling from? Oh, Miami. Ready to get started. Frame it. Everything we do is custom. The goal of this call is to figure out where you're at, where you want to go, blah, blah, blah. Cool. So, let's start with your goal. Where would you like to be revenue wise this time next year? Oh, what's the goal? Okay. And are you more trying to build a lifestyle? I'm going to dig into the goal. Oh, okay. Gotcha. And tell me what you're doing right now for income. Oh, I gotcha. And do you like where you're at right now? Okay. Why? Like, well, tell me what's going on there. Oh, you don't like it? What's going on there? I'm going to probe into that a bit, right? Just like I'm going to do on the problem now. It's like, okay, what's going on there? Oh, wow. Jeez. You've been how, okay. So your job is laying people off and you're just worried that you might get laid off. How long have you been worried about that for? Oh, 2 years. I mean, what kind of impact is that having on you? Oh, wow. You're stressed out. You don't know, like, if you're going to be secure at all? Huh. I gotcha. Well, I mean, if that's been going on for the last, I don't know, 6 months, why all of a sudden now are we talking? Why not like 6 months ago when it first came up, or why not like 6 months from now? Something recently changed? Oh, you just had some coworkers that got let off. I see. So I can move to the next step. Well, can I ask you a personal question? Like, what happens? Like if you don't get your business running and making the income and then you're kind of stuck in this uncertainty for, this next year, you're just still living in the ambiguity and nothing changes. Oh, wow. Wow. Gotcha. Gotcha. So it's time for a change. Ah, I see. Okay. Okay. So what I'm hearing you say is you've been in your job for the last 5 years. This last 6 months has become real uncertain because they've been laying people off. And if you don't get your business up and running, like not only are you gonna kind of feel like a slave to your job, you might even lose your job and be stuck in a financial situation where you're gonna have to be like tapping your savings just to get the business going. And it's stressing you out, and your wife is really, really stressed out as well. Did I miss anything? Okay, cool. Well, I mean, what do you think's been keeping you from figuring out how to get the business going on your own? Oh, okay. So, and what have you tried to get the business going? Oh, okay, what happened there? Tell me more. Oh, you hired somebody before? What were you promised? Oh, this and the other. Oh, so you were promised that like this was going to be, you're going to be at 50K a month in like 2 days. What actually happened? Oh, they just gave you a coaching program and they didn't help you out at all. Oh, that sucks. And then considerations. Well, what kind of strategies are you considering to really get your business running and kind of get out of this job that you're talking about right now? Okay. Hmm. And tell me what strategies, you mentioned you're kind of looking at a few things. What strategies are sticking out to you so far? Huh. Okay, YouTube. Okay, content marketing. What else? Okay. Oh, yeah, really? You don't like that? You don't like ads because the ad budget? Oh, I gotcha. Well, when are you talking to those companies? Oh, you got 2 calls today and 2 calls tomorrow? Okay, cool. All right, gotcha. And like, how are you going to know when you find the best solution? Is it the cheapest option? Are you looking for the speed of result? Is it ROI, a return on investment? What's your priority? Oh, ROI and speed. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I see. Well, I mean, how does your wife feel about all this? Are you both in alignment? Oh, does she know that you and I are talking right now? Oh, she doesn't? Okay. Well, I mean, if you and I decide to work together, we want to work together, like, is she going to need to see the presentation about how this works, or is she like trusting you to take care of this? Oh, cool. So she's 100% trusting you to get this thing fixed. I see. Okay. No, it's great, man. My wife is super supportive too. Yep. I love that. Okay. Well, I mean, what do you know about us? Did you watch the video I sent you before the call? Okay, did you look through the testimonials at all? Oh, okay. Well, let me just pull this up for you really quick, just to kind of give you an idea. I'm not trying to do anything salesy or whatever. Just want you to kind of know that we're the real deal. Like, we've done this for over 700 clients with a 97% success rate. All these clients will tell you the same thing. They've tried 3, 4, 5 lead generation companies before, it didn't work. With PMA, it worked. They got on calls, it worked fast. It's not always a perfect journey, but we're the best team in the biz. On your side, we'll get it to work and we'll be in your corner for you. So yeah, again, like, just to kind of give you just a quick overview there. Um, any questions on that? Okay. Yeah, awesome. Well, I mean, help me understand. And this is where I transition into the bottom part. Help me understand, what does your next few months look like if we work together? I mean, do you have a couple hours a week? Just making sure you're not going like on a vacation or something like that. Okay, you do have time. Okay. All right. So, um, look, I have a pretty good understanding of your situation. Like, you've been dealing with this job for the last few years. This like 6 months, it's gotten super stressful. You've tried X, Y, and Z to kind of get the business going, and you have some referrals coming in, but it's definitely not going to put you in a position to have the full-time the full-time job. And if you don't get that full-time job, there's going to be a risk that you're laid off and put into a really, really financially risky and stressful situation. And you've got some stuff coming in, but nothing's really working. Is there anything else that I should know, or does that cover everything? Okay. Well, you know, and just out of role play super quick, I'm going to transition to a 2 call. If he needs to have the wife involved, I'm going to get her on the call, or for whatever reason. We'll talk about reasons when to 1 call or 2 call in a different training. But I'll just go through this. Okay, well, this is definitely something we can help out with. Do you want me to walk you through how we could work together to get your business up and going? Okay, cool. Then I'm going to go into my pitch. I'm going to go into my closing stack and objection handles, and the closing stack and objection handle documents here. So there you go. That's the high level of this. Now let me walk through kind of each section so you understand the nuances. And I'm going to kind of give a training on each piece so you understand them. I would suggest you watch through this video like several times. Over the course of the next 3 months, like, come back to this and watch it so you can pick up on some of the nuances that I'm going to say here. So greeting, be very quick with this. Don't not do it, but don't overdo it. Like the old school salesy, hey, how you doing? What college did you go? Oh, I love that college. Go see you buffs. Like, that stuff is just, it's going to create so much sales resistance. Because that's like, the people have been doing that for so long that they kind of know that you're just trying to build rapport. So I get into it pretty quick. Like, hey, great to meet you. Where you're calling from? Oh, me, I'm in Miami. Have you ever been? Oh, you've been out here to party? Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I get up at like 4 a.m. So I see those party people out there. While I'm getting up, they're still heading back to their condo. So, all right, well, hey, I know we got a lot to cover. Are you ready to get started? Okay, now I'm going to frame it. The frame is going to remove the, if you do the frame right, it's going to remove the, well, just tell me what you do, right? Because I want them to feel like, hey, everything I do is custom. I have clients that range from brand new businesses that are like literally part-time full-time employees and part-time business owners, all the way to companies that are doing $500 million a year with 1,000 sales reps. So my goal is to kind of figure out where you're at, where you want to go, and what's keeping you from getting there. And then from there, if we are a fit and it's something I can help you with, I can show you what that would look like to help you in your situation, and we could take the next step from there. Does that sound good? Cool. So the goal of the frame, if you do it right, is to avoid though, just tell me what you do. And you kind of see how I said, from here to here. Now, like, we have clients that range from here to here. So that kind of, that lets them know, like, I need to get some information, if like, to really, really help out with that. Now, there's going to be some situations where they're like, yeah, I get it, but I just need you to tell me what you do. You can kind of re-say that again. Oh, hey, no worries, I get it. You just want to get down to the nitty gritty. Again, everything I do is custom. So like, I wouldn't know what, I don't have gold, silver, platinum. I don't know what I would offer you. So I could sell you my $5 million package if you want, because that's just kind of the maximum thing that we do. Or I could, spend like the next 20 minutes and just get to know enough information so I could build a custom solution for you specifically. You let me know what you want to do. I mean, if you're good to go with a $5 million budget, then let's just do that. But if you want to, okay, cool. You're cool answering some questions. Gotcha. Okay. So that's where I'm going to go on framing leadership. I may put some, if I find that the prospects are running into some resistance here, or if the clients are running into some resistance, just let your CSM know. I can give you a couple outcome options here. To how to handle it if people are still resistant to your frame. Just let your CSM know and we can add some extra options here. Okay, goal and where now. I don't want you to overthink this. For your situation, it's going to be a little bit different. I always think about financial, professional, and personal. Don't overthink this. What I want you to know is I want to figure out a number that I can associate with the goal. Revenue for us, this could be, retention rate, this could, whatever. We want to find a number. Where would you like your, quick reminder, if you want access to any of the resources that you see me going over in this video, the scripts, the diagrams, any of that stuff, literally I'm giving out the entire course, all the scripts, everything for free. So go down to the description to get access to all of the resources. Now, here's the one ask that I do have for you. If you're getting value from this course, from this video, the only thing that I'll ever ask you for is that you share it with somebody else that you feel like could level up their skills as a closer by having these tools and the resources. It could be another high ticket closer. It could be an entrepreneur selling their own services. It could be a sales manager managing a team of remote closers. Whoever it would be, if you're getting value from these trainings and from this course, the only thing I ask is that you just share it. Let's jump back into the training. Your new recruits, or where would you like your retention rate, or where would you like your profitability to be like this time next year? Oh, okay, cool. And then I move over here, and this can be like, I generally ask for business. If they're trying to like grow their business, I'm like, well, for you, is this more about like a lifestyle business or trying to build an empire? Like, this could be like, if it's a career, be like, for you, is this just about like having a nice career that supports your life? Or is this more about like, you want to be like, climb that ladder and be the best in corporate? Oh, okay. So I want to, all this is doing is giving me an understanding of their identity. So you can contrast this. I'm just trying to figure out like the person they want to be, and lifestyle is more of the free kind of person, and the empire builder or the corporate ladder chaser, or like the, dominate in their role. Like it's the same. So for you, is this more about like just making sure everything's running smooth, or are you trying to like show the company that you know how to really make the marketing stuff work, or, whatever. So you got to, depending on the situation, you got to customize a little bit, but this starts to show me who this person wants to become. And now if I know not just the goal, but I know what the goal means to them, meaning who they want to become, then I can support this person to become that person. And you're going to have a lot of influence. If I just know the number, I don't have very much influence. But if I know who this person wants to become, like, oh, this is more of a lifestyle thing for you. Gotcha. Well, what would you like to see your life, your business do for you personally? Oh, you want to be able to travel your family around the world. Why is that important to you? Oh, because you never had that growing up. And so I might find out this person wants to be the dad and the husband identity, the person they want to become. They want to be that dad. They want to be that husband that can give the time, the freedom, the finances, the experiences to their family. Whereas this empire, the person they want to become could be like, dude, I just want to build the biggest, the baddest, the best. Okay, well, like, why? What does that mean to you? Like, why that? What does your company look like? What does your career look like? What does your role look like? Right? Oh, it looks like this. It looks like this. Okay, cool. And then I do kind of want to say, like, what would this mean for you personally? Now, this might be something you're going to have a little bit of help from your CSM to customize. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, don't overthink it. Like, I just want to know like a number. I want to know like what this means to them professionally or to their identity. Like, and then I want to basically dig into this. I would just call this probe. Probe. So goal, just probe, goal probe. Right. Okay, cool. So let's go to this next one. Where now? This is gonna be like, well, tell me what you're doing for like if what are you doing for income right now? If this is like a person starting a new business, or like if it's a CMO, like what are you doing from your marketing right now? Or if it's like it's well, whatever it is, like what are you doing for your taxes right now? What are you doing for your job search, right? What are you doing for blank right now? Okay. And is it like how's that going for you? You know? Let me do this. Something along these lines. So it's like, okay, do you like where you're at right now? Or how's that going for you? Right. And then it could be like, okay, why don't you like that? Or why do you like that? Or tell me more what's going on. Let me pause this real quick. Okay, so if they say like, if they say what they like or don't like about what's going on right now, I say why or why not. If I say how's that going for you? Oh, well, it's going okay. And I say I'll repeat what they say, what's going on there. I'm going to probe into this a bit, right? So it could be like, what's going on with that right now? Oh, okay. Tell me more about that. Oh, wow, you're burned out. What's going on there? How long's that been going on? Right? And then I can then go to like, well, I mean, given that, you've been in this job for 3 years and now they're laying people off and you don't even know if you have job security after all that loyalty. I mean, does that put you in a tough place? It does? Like how so though? Okay. So this is where I'm really building a problem on. This is going to be how good you get at this. So like, okay, so the real like understanding, getting a really good goal and then a really good where now, like really getting to understand the problem. Not like, and not everybody's gonna be like crying on the call. Some people will, some people won't. But like at least having quality answers, not bullshit answers, is gonna really help you set up the entire rest of the call. Because like for instance, when I moved down to, hey, can I ask you personal questions? What happens if you don't get your business going? And if the person is like, oh, this doesn't matter, it'll be fine. Like if I got a really bad goal and a really bad where now, like it's not, the rest of the call is going to be it's going to be superficial. It's not going to land. And so what's really important is to really get good at getting this and the where now, because the quality of that's going to help you out a lot. All right. Again, if you feel like you need more outcomes added to your situation, like, hey, I'm getting a lot of resistance here and here, we can add some outcomes. We're just trying to keep this simple. And then as we have requests, we can add stuff versus adding too much and overwhelming. So we're trying to keep this simple. But if you have outcomes that you need from like any of these sections, just let your CSM know and we can add those for you. Okay, past, present, and future. So this is going to be like, how long has this been going on for? Why all of a sudden now do you want to fix it? And gosh, like help me understand what happens if you don't fix it? What then? So that's the how long gives us an understanding of the time frame, how long this has been a problem. Why now gives us an understanding of like what's going on in their life that they're like wanting to get this fixed right now. And then this cost gives us an understanding of this is going to help us on the close. Like what's the consequences or what's the impact or what's the implications of them not fixing this? That's going to create urgency in the close. That's going to give you a lot of, if you can get a really good cost, it's going to really, really help you get this deal closed and hold them accountable, right? Because if they told you, well, I'll be stuck in this job and they're doing layoffs and a year from now, I might not even have a job and I might be on unemployment if I don't get my business going. Well, that's a pretty friggin' like big thing that creates urgency to sign up right now. Okay. All right, let's rock and roll. So you'll notice here, how long has this been going on for is in the probe. And it is also right here. So if you haven't asked yet, ask this. But just in case you haven't, if you probed and you haven't asked how long, past, present, future, how long has this been going on for? Why all of a sudden now? Okay, well, can I ask you a question? What if you don't change this and the next year looks like the last year? Let's walk through each one. Pretty straightforward. So where present, which is the why now, why all of a sudden now, if you've been in this like job, if you've been stressed out in this job for the last 6 months, why are we talking about this now? Why not 6 months ago? Why not like 6 months from now? Has something recently changed? What we're looking for is a current thing that has inspired them to get on this call. What we find a lot of times, for instance, for our situation is not always, but a lot of times the people that we're on calls with, they've responded because they've recently lost some revenue, or one of their lead sources is currently not working, or they've been trying to scale and they can't get a new lead source to work. So if I can figure out anything that recently changed, shifted, maybe something that they've been talking about recently, I want to try to figure out if I can get the what recently shifted. That's going to really, really help me understand why they're looking at something right now. So when I ask this though, they're either going to tell me like, yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, we lost a big client, or, hey, honestly, I just had, let's go back to the role play we're in. I just had one of my best friends, who was actually my boss, get laid off, and none of us were expecting it. And so like, I'm really scared right now. So then I can move on to the next thing. Well, hey, that's crazy. Can I ask you a personal question? What if you don't get this business going and this time next year, the business isn't running and you're reliant on a job in this economy? You see, or you see that's one outcome. And then you can see I can just move here. But you notice if I click this, it doesn't move me anywhere because the future is already on the page. But if I were to be like here and it wasn't on the page, and I click it, it'll move it down there for me. So if you try to click and you go, why is it not going there? It's because it's already on the page. You can see, you can also go to it over here on this. If you're not used to using these little sidebars, use these sidebars. It's going to be super helpful, especially when you're on calls. Okay, let's go back to the why now, past, present, future, present, why now. You might get a generic, I just want to see what you do. Well, I like to get on calls with salespeople. It's my favorite hobby to just see what people do and talk to salespeople and have them pitch me all day. I love it, right? Okay, so, I'm going to be like, was anything recently changed? No, I just wanted to see what you guys do. Oh, that makes sense. Curious. I mean, over, the last 6 months, this has been a problem. Has anybody else ever reached out to you about like, lead generation or helping with your business? Oh, you've had a lot of people reach out to you? Huh. Well, I'm sure you have a lot better things to do than hang out with strange salespeople on Zoom calls. And it sounds like you've ignored a lot of people that have reached out to you before. Curious, like, why all of a sudden are you taking calls with strangers that are offering lead gen now? Okay, gotcha. Oh, you and your wife were talking about this last week. I see. So, you can wordsmith this a little bit, but I like to use a little bit of humor. Like, oh, I see. So you just like to hang out with strangers and like shoot the stuff on the calls. Okay, gotcha. All right, let's move into future, past, present, future. So how long, why now, and what if you don't change? All right. So this is going to be the quality of this is going to be really built on how well you did the goal, the where now, and the past and present. So if you get a really good goal and you got a really good where now, and then you got a really good past and present, this thing is going to land, and it's going to be one of the most powerful levers that you have to get a deal closed on the call. But if it doesn't land, if you don't get this to land, it's going to be one of two reasons, or one of three reasons, really. If you don't get it to land, it's going to be one, because you didn't do a quality goal, where now, past and present, or it's going to be because you didn't do a good job at asking this, or it's just going to be like the person's like super like resistant, and they're like, you did a great job and everything, but they're just like, they're holding their cards close. All good. Just keep practicing. If you have trouble getting this one, like, just listen back to your call and figure out which one it was. Okay, so future, so hey, can I ask you a personal question? Yeah, I mean, well, what happens if you don't get your business going and the next year looks exactly like this last year? We're going to have three outcomes. Either they're going to spill their guts. Oh, man, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be so bad. I don't know what I'm going to do. Or it's going to be, oh, no, I have to. I won't let that happen. I will absolutely get my business going. Okay. Well, why though? Right? Okay. Or, I'll be fine. Totally fine. So, right, it's either they spill their guts, I'd have to, I won't let that happen. I will make it happen. Or, I'll be fine if I don't get it. It's totally cool. So let's walk through each of these. If they spill their guts to you, oh, I have to, it's this and that. Oh my gosh, wow, that's crazy. Oh yeah, but gotcha. So it's time for change. Yeah, gosh. So we got a cost of not moving forward, and we got them to agree that it's time for change. And they go, no, that's not going to happen. I will make this happen. I'm very successful. I know how to make this stuff though. Okay. Like, why though? Well, because when I set my mind to something, I do it. I'm committed. I make things happen. Oh, I see. Gotcha. But why now though? Because, this is the time to do it. If not now, when? And today's the best day. Gotcha. So it's time for a change. Yeah, man, for sure. You see, so even though I didn't get the cry, gut spilled, oh my God, I gotta change, I got this person to commit that it is time to do it right now. And they're the person that's resolved to do it right now. So the outcome of the goal of cost is to create urgency. So let me say this again. The goal of this is to create urgency so you can close on the call. This creates urgency, allows you to do one call closes very well. Okay. Now, you ask this question, what if the next year looks to the last year? I'll be fine. Everything will be good. Life is good. I just, want this to make it gooder. Make it gooder? Sir, that's not even proper English. I don't care. I make my own rules. All right. So this is an indication you didn't get the real problem or goal. Most cases. Sometimes they're just resistant, but most cases, this is an indication you didn't get the real problem and or the real goal. Okay. Here's how I'm going to handle it though. Nonetheless, because, we don't always run perfect calls. I don't even always run perfect calls, and mostly run imperfect calls that are good enough to close in most cases, which is pretty cool. So can I be real with you? Yeah, man, what's up? Well, what you're wanting to accomplish, like building a business that gives you a, $50K a month income with high profitability and lifestyle, like that's not going to be easy. That puts you in the top income earners in the world. Most people that try to do that fail big time. Very few actually make it. So if this is just a nice to have for you and not a need to have, probably wouldn't make sense for us to work together. And here's why. This is not an easy problem to solve. And if this is just a nice to have for you, I'd be worried that the first sign of difficulty, you just jump ship, which means that I wouldn't even want to take you on as a client. So, I guess my question becomes is this just a nice to have where it isn't that important to you, where you're kind of cool if it happens or it doesn't? Or is this a need to have for you where yeah, I'm going to make this happen? No, man, this is important for me. I'm committed to making this happen. When I set my mind to something, I'm going to make it happen. I gotcha. Why though? Because, oh, I gotcha. Sure, but why now though? Oh, no, gotcha. So time for change. You see how that sequence kind of allows you to get the same outcome? I want to get the why now, why it's important, and I want to get them committed to making change. That creates urgency, right? So they're not all going to spill their guts, but I want them to I want them to process what happens if they don't fix it, and then I want their response to be well, I've got to change. And all three of these get that, and this is just make sure you do these follow-up sequences here. Well, all right, cool. So once I've got past, present, future, I've got all this stuff, I want to label this. So what we're doing is we're just kind of putting a label on the goal, the problem, and the cost. And then just saying, did I miss anything? This is going to basically say, okay, so this is what you're on this call with me to solve, right? So this is mostly about the problem. This is not, I don't label the goal, right? See, so what I'm hearing you say is you've been in your job for the last 5 years. I'm going to customize this for them. So I'm not going to read this out. Well, the job for the last 5 years, because you don't have a system to get leads and clients, you're stuck in your job, but they're doing a lot of layoffs right now. You just had one of your best friends get fired, and you're kind of concerned that you might be next. And you told me that if that happens, you don't have enough nest egg to keep you and your wife. And then with the economy and with the job market, it's going to be really hard for you to solve that problem. Now, did I miss anything, or is there anything else we should discuss? Oh, that covers it? Gotcha. So this is kind of the quality, if I can get a really freaking good label and get them to say, yes, that's it, man. It's okay, this is what we're solving. This is what somebody's going to pay me a lot of money to solve. They're not going to pay me a lot of money for lead generation. They're not going to pay me a lot of money for marketing. They're not going to pay me a lot of money for all the different things that we think that they're going to pay us money for. They're going to pay us money to solve this. And the better quality label and agreement we get here is the more that they're going to be willing to pay us for our solution. Cool. Attempts and considerations. So if I just said, did I miss anything? right here. Let's just kind of keep it congruent. No, that covers it, man. Gotcha. Well, what do you think's been keeping you from figuring out how to get your business kind of making that, 50K a month on your own? Well, I'm not a marketing expert, honestly, man. Like, this is not my thing. I'm a coach. I like doing coaching, blah, 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 or, marketing issue. Well, like, no, I'm good at SEO and all that stuff, but, I don't know how to get my own clients. It's so hard out there. There's so much competition. Gotcha. Well, what if you had to try to fix it so far? So with this, I'm going to create doubt. This is just going to minimize like him telling me this. Well, I mean, I think I could try this on my own. I want to kill that. I want him to tell me that he can't do this on his own, he or she. Tim's, I want to get an understanding of what they've tried before in the past to fix this, what they're trying now. So that I could position my solution as better than, superior than. I also want to make sure my solution doesn't sound like the last thing they tried. Because if I hear a lot of language around what they tried before that's similar to my language, I got to make sure that I don't sound like the last thing that they spent money on that didn't work. So this is going to, understanding what they tried is going to allow me to position my pitch to show them how this thing is different. Maybe even explain why what they tried. Oh, you know how you said you tried to do cold email before and you're sending out 1,000 emails a month? Yeah. The reason why that doesn't work is because you're getting data from the same places. You said you scraped it from Zoom info, right? Yeah, but the Zoom info doesn't tell you like who's buying and responding offers like yours right now. So what we do is blank, blank, blank. So understanding what they've tried in detail is going to allow you to really kind of, what I would say, not customize, but personalize your pitch and really make it be like, yes, that totally makes sense. It gets big buy-in. I kind of want to understand why they tried, if they were sold something before, what they were promised, what they actually got, what, maybe just get an understanding of how they were sold before, but how they were also let down before. This is going to allow me to position my pitch much better. Considerations is really about understanding who else they're talking to. In this situation, if they're talking to 2 more people about lead generation today and then 1 more tomorrow, I'm gonna do a 2-call close. I'm gonna end this at the transition before I pitch, and then I'm gonna pitch them after they've talked to everybody else. Because if they're gonna talk to somebody else today and then tomorrow, that's gonna be really hard to close them on this call, because they're like gonna be like, well, I've got another call tomorrow and I'll talk to them and then I'll let you know. If I'm the last person they talk to, I can close them on the call. The person that they talk to last has the highest chance, highest leverage to actually get the deal closed. So my goal here is, hey, very casual. I'm not saying, who else are you talking to? They're gonna be like, no, just nobody else. And they're gonna lie to you. Just what freaking happens. Like, it's just, people are like guarded. So we say, hey, what kind of strategies are you considering to get your lead generation fixed? Get your business up and running? Oh, just trying to see what's out there. Gotcha. Well, I mean, what strategies are sticking out for you so far? Well, so look at this content marketing thing. I don't really like it because this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Oh, what else? Just be curious and probe in and just don't seed anything. Just like let them tell you. And then when you kind of understand, gotcha, when you're having the conversations with those companies, boom, that's what I'm looking for right there is, so now I can know if I want to call after they're having those conversations, right? Again, that's why I said you're going to watch through this training multiple times over, you're going to watch through it, maybe watch through it a couple times. You're going to do calls, watch through it again, because you're going to pick up on nuances every time you watch this that you didn't pick up on before. So a lot of nuances you're definitely going to not remember the first time or second time or third time around. It'll take you a little bit of repetition. So come back to this to pick up on these nuances like I just told you about there. Okay. So this other thing that I want to do here is I want to figure out. So what I kind of hate is like, what is it that how are you going to know when you find the right solution? And it's like, they don't freaking know, man. Like, they've had a problem with this and they haven't been able to solve this problem and their past attempts have failed. Like, why are you asking them that? But if I can do this, let me fix this, return on. If I can if I can, what I want to try to do here is, especially because this is like for a less sophisticated buyer, right? I want to like kill the cheapest option thing. If I want to kill the price shopper, and this works really well. If you do this well, kill the price shopper. So I'm going to do this all in one. I'm going to ask all this in one without letting them answer until the end. So I'm going to say this, and how do you know you found the right solution, and keep talking. So how do you know when you found the right solution? Do you just want the cheapest option? Are you looking for speed to result? Are you looking for return on investment? Like, what's your priority? Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me, man, is return on investment, right? So boom, now I can hold them accountable to return on investment. Hey, you know how you were telling me before, for you, this is going to be your most, and what's most important to you is return on investment. Yeah. Well, gotcha. So there's no other person in the industry that has a better return on investment. We're not the cheapest option, but I know you told me that wasn't the most important thing to you. Return on investment is $1 in, $10 out was most important, correct? Yeah. So this allows me to get them, remember what we said at the top of this call, was what holds more weight, the statements the prospects makes to you, or the statements you make to the prospect, or the statements the prospect make to themselves. So that's a good one to get them to tell you they're not looking for the cheapest option. They're looking for the best quality option, essentially. So that's how that works there. Now, outcomes of considerations. We got some more outcomes for you. Again, if there's some places you need more outcomes, let us know. I'm trying to keep it simple so you're not overwhelmed here. Outcomes of considerations, they aren't talking to anybody else, in which case I would just go to who else. They tell you who they're talking to and when, in which case I'm going to schedule a second call after those meetings. And then if there is, unless it's like, I'm doing a call, I got a call 2 weeks from now, I'm like, no, don't worry about that call 2 weeks from now. Like, but if they're doing a call like today or tomorrow, or like it's Monday and they're doing a call with somebody on Wednesday in the morning, I'm going to schedule a call with them Wednesday in the afternoon. You know what I mean? So I want to do the last call. I want to be the last person they talk to, like right after they talk to the second to last. Or if they're resistant to telling you, here's what I'm going to roll. They're like, oh, I mean, no, just nothing, just kind of, just want to mostly know what you do. Oh, hey, just no worries. Just trying to understand like what strategies are sticking out to you. Cause like if you're like, let's say if you're dead set on a YouTube strategy or like a content marketing strategy, like I can't help you and I don't want to waste your time and, going through the rest of this. So I'm just trying to get an understanding of, what strategies align with you the most to see if what we got going on here even aligns. Does that make sense? Yeah, man, sure. I'm like, well, help me understand what other strategies, like if anything, are sticking out to you. Yeah, well, like you said, the YouTube thing, I don't know. I just don't think my prospects are on YouTube, but I was talking to a company that's doing YouTube strategies and all that stuff, blah, blah. So like this kind of was like just a really good lesson is if you are getting resistance, to be, oh, hey, no worries. I got you. Well, and then just kind of very diffusing language, like, oh, no worries. Hey, totally fine. I got you. I see what you're saying. Right. And then give them a reason. So diffuse and then give them a reason why you're asking this question. Why? And the question needs to be like the reason why I'm asking this. And there's got to be a good reason behind it that actually is for their benefit. Right. Cool. So that's the 3 outcomes of considerations. Let's move into who else, which is like, partner, spouse, wife, all that stuff. All right. So, hey, how does your wife feel about this? How does your partner feel about this? Right. So if they're like, yeah, if they're not talking about, oh, no, I'm not talking to anybody else, man. You guys reached out to me and I thought like this and I liked what you'd had to do. Oh, cool. Well, I mean, that makes sense. Like, how does your wife feel about all this stuff? Oh, she's stressing her out, man. Oh, are you both in alignment that like getting this marketing company is going to kind of really change the game for you? Oh yeah. And does your wife know that you and I are talking? Yep. I showed her, the video you sent me. Oh, wow. Gotcha. And like, help me understand if we decide, you and I decide like, hey, we want to work together. Does she need to see the presentation and know the strategy, or is she like trusting you to take care of this whole thing? You see what I'm doing here? I'm starting to get an understanding of this is a very subtle way to be like, oh, are they going to need to see the presentation and strategy, or are they trusting you to take care of this? This only gives them 2 options to say, no, they're trusting me, which means I can hold them accountable if they tell me I got to talk to my wife. Like, oh, well, I mean, no worries, don't want to cause a divorce. But I mean, earlier in the call when I asked you if like they needed to see this presentation, or if they're trusting you to make the call, like help me understand what else are you thinking about, right? So it allows me to help hold them accountable. Or if I know that they, like down here, if they say I need to run it by them, like, I'll definitely need to run it by them, or like for whatever reason, I'm going to need to do like a 2-call transition. Or if they're like, if I go like, let me just walk you through these things. If they say, yeah, they're trusting me, tie this down so you can hold them accountable. Or, hey, so if you and I decide to work together, and do they need to see the presentation, or are they trusting you to take care of this? No, they're trusting me. Cool. So like they're 100% trusting you to get your business up and going. Yep. Cool. I agree, and go on to the next thing. Well, hey, what do you know about us? Did you watch the video I sent you before the call? Have you seen any of our testimonials? Pull up the testimonial page if I need to. I like to go through this real fast. I don't like sitting here and being salesy. I really scroll through that fast. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. But if they're like, if you and I decide we want to work together, do they need to see their presentation, or are they trusting you to take care of this? No, I need to run it by them. Or yeah, I would at least let them in, or I would want to get their input on this. I want to figure out if this is more like, I just need to run it by them so they know I'm going to do it, like respect, or if it's permission, like I need to get their input on this and I cannot move forward without their thumbs up. So that's why I want to understand which one this is, because this is going to give me two different scenarios. Okay, so I'm like, no, I definitely would want to run it by them, get them included. Oh, hey, gotcha. And so is this more of like a respect thing, where it's just about keeping them in the loop, or is this more like a permission thing where you can't actually make a decision without getting their thumbs up? If permission, then I'm going to do a 2-call transition. I'm going to transition the section at the script. Okay, just kind of tweak this for you here. So if I have permission, and I want to do 2-call transition and book call with the partner on that call, with partner call. Okay, so check this out. You can see over here 2-call with partner. So you can see at transition, there's 2-call no partner, there is 2-call with partner, and then there's a 1-call transition. So with the 2-call with partner, I'm actually going to get them on the partner on the call. Now, I'm not going to go through this scripting. You can see there's the training for it is going to be on the objection handles, how to get a partner on the second call, because you might do this during objections and it might happen before. So I'm not going to go through the scripting on this call for the 2-call, because the training on it is underneath. The training for this is going to be underneath the objection training. So if you want to see how to 2-call with the partner, go to the who else objection training. Cool. All right. So let's go here, come back. So that's how I'd run it there. If respect, you can do a 1-call close, and worst case scenario, get a deposit so they can go tell their partner, or you can 2-call. So this is going to be up to you. If it's just, no, I just want to let them know out of respect. So I could pitch them, get a deposit, have they go talk to their partner, we get the rest of the payment. All right, cool. Bonus. Temp check trust. So this is, I kind of walked you through this before. Yeah, I didn't really do this very much on my calls. But it is something like some of our sales reps, I have them do this. Like if I just met you and there's not a lot of trust built yet, I would say do this until you feel like you don't need it. And then you're going to be like, what do you know about us? This is going to make me understand, have they watched the video? Are they warmed up? Have they seen the testimonials? And then if they haven't, then it allows me to just take a second to pull it up, So I'll be like, hey, what do you know about us? Oh, not much. Did you watch the video before the call? Oh, you watched a few minutes of it. Have you seen any testimonials? Oh, you haven't. Huh. Well, let me just take 20 seconds to kind of show you. I want to pull this up. And when I do it, I scroll through it really fast. It's called like a flash roll. I want them to just kind of see it, but not be able to sit anywhere for too long. I just want them to kind of be like, geez, there's a lot. So I scroll down, I scroll up. Your situation might be different. You might not have that many testimonies. It's okay. Just I'm just giving you an example of what we do, and then you can kind of customize it for you. Yeah, we do this for over 700 clients with a 97% success rate. They'll all say the same thing. They've hired 3 or 4 companies in the past. Nothing worked. When they hired us, they got results. They got them quick. In fact, we have clients that have used us for 2, 3, 4 years, and there's no if, you'll get results every time. So, I'm going to be talking that while I'm scrolling over this. So that's kind of how I roll it for our sales reps. All right. Now the 5-4, the bottom part, which is the 4. So the 5 was 1, frame leadership, 2, goal and where now, 3, past, present, future, 4, attempts and considerations, 5, who else? And then the 4 is going to be transition, which is we're going to transition, and then there's going to be a pitch, closing stack, and objections. And remember, the closing stacks and objections is all in here. The closing stack and objections is all in here. And then yep, let's kind of walk through the transition a little bit. All right, I just walked them through the testimonial page. Cool. Help me understand, what does the next few months look like for you if we work together? Like, you have a couple hours a week, and just making sure you're not off on holiday for a couple weeks or something. This is really nice, because this eliminates both. This kills the timing objection. Like, I don't have time to do this, or I got a vacation or something like that. You can see we have objection handles on how to handle time, but ideally, like, you just pre-handle this. So this is a really good way to pre-handle it. And then I'm going to kind of label the call really mostly around the problem. The mistake people make is labeling the call, well, you want this goal, and you want this goal, and you want help getting this goal. Did I miss anything? Nope, that covers it. And that's the wrong angle. I have a pretty good understanding of your situation. You've had problem for the last 2 years. You've tried to fix that problem. You can't fix that problem. You've done this, and you're kind of getting some results there, but it's really not working. Is there anything else that you feel like I should know that we haven't covered, right? Or does that cover everything? No, that covers everything. Now I can transition to a 2 call with no partner. If, like, they're talking to other companies or something like that, I'm going to be like, well, the next step from here, I bring this to my team. We put together a custom strategy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a high level pitch. That's going to make them go, yes, I want this. Why do you want this? And really, I want to make it more like, I almost want to push them away. Like, I want to make it feel like I'm not desperate. So my angle is like, all right, man, so the next step from here, I'm going to bring this to my team, and we'll put together a custom strategy. But I mean, before I go and, ask my team to do all this work for us and for you, I want to make sure, like, we're at least aligned on a high level. Makes sense? Yeah, here's what we do. So first thing we're going to do is start generating leads so you can get on calls ASAP. Does that make sense? Yeah. Second thing we're going to do is recruit and train a VA to keep the appointments going, so blah, blah, blah. Does that make sense? Yeah, and the third thing we're going to do is set you up with this so you can scale and blah, blah, blah. On, high level, how does that sound to you? Sounds good. Okay, and like, why is that? I might even do a full-up answer. I could just, how so? In what way? Right? Probing. Like, gotcha. Okay, so let's do this. I think we're aligned. Let's pull up my calendar. We can follow up. How does Friday sound? Great. Sent you a calendar invite. Blah, blah, blah. Great. Look. Okay, so that's what I want to really get some buy-in for that second call. I don't want to sound desperate to set that second call. I want to be like, oh, I don't want to book it if we're going to waste each other's time. Okay. Option 2, call with partner. Like I said, I do have a training on this under the objection handling. If you go to the objection handling in your Thinkific, I have a training on the partner, and it'll walk you through how to schedule the second call with the partner if you need that there. But we got the scripting, and then option 3 is going to be to go to one call close. So where it's like, okay, so I just did 700 clients, and now we just get results for our clients. There's no if. Makes sense? Yeah. And then I'm going to label, right? I just got out of time there. So like, oh, that's right. I was like, timing. Do you have time for this? Yeah, I got time for this. Well, it sounds like this, and the other. That's the problem. Did I miss anything, or does that cover everything? No, that covers everything. Cool. Well, I mean, definitely something we can help you out with. Do you want me to walk you through, like, what this will look like for you to fix your lead flow and actually have a business that runs for you and covers your income? Okay, cool. Then I'm going to move into the pitch, closing stack, and objections. There it is. All right, perfect. Again, as you're going through this, if you have questions, bring those to the weekly sales training, as well as you can ask your CSM. As you're practicing this, I would suggest having like an hour a day. If you don't have an hour, at least do like a 30 minutes where you scroll through and you do this. You go for drilling. You can just go through this at least one time so you're familiar with it, so you can use it on calls. And then, you're spending some time working on different objection handles. So the biggest thing is being comfortable with navigating the script, both reading it in a way that sounds natural and being able to know what outcomes lead to what. So you want to be familiar. There you go. Wishing you the best. Talk soon. That's how to run the where now framework on your discovery calls to unearth hidden problems and really create urgency to get the deal closed. Now, the next 3 videos in the playlist are going to be very quick and wrapping up the discovery section of this course so that you can master the game of 1 and 2 call closing. closing. Now that resource is going to be here on the video, or you can go down to the description for the full playlist.